Welcome to CATtheMinion YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. This is kind of an art show video, but it's also related to divination tools. So if you've been watching my channel, if you saw my hit the deck review video of my charms from sometime recently, you saw that I went through my whole bucket of charms here. I had close to 200, and I think I had mentioned in that review video that I was going to be offering these for sale. So I don't have a way to make bas-relief, like physical ones just yet, but in the meantime, it actually took me a long time to do it. I took the scans and collaged them, and I thought it was going to be a bunch of sheets, but it turned out to be only 4. So here's a printout of one of the sheets. And you can see, if I shake it a little bit, that I had it overlaid with the matching charms from my bucket. So I got the whale here. So this is printed out at 100% from the PDF that I made, and you can see that it just goes a little bit off the page. So I had tried to make it with a margin of a 1/4 inch all the way around, but it wasn't quite enough. So when you do print this out, it's going to have to be at about 96% or smaller, and you should be able to do that when you print out the PDF. So these are black and white. I did notice on a couple of these, like on the wheel, and what was the other one? Oh, the halo. Now I gotta find it because I dropped these all over the table. The halo I colored in as well, which I did not realize I did after I scanned them. So if somebody wants that colored in, if you want the background of the wheel colored in, just get a dark pen and scribble it right in there. At some point, it's like I spent enough time on this. So these are just copy paper sheets that I was using for testing. So you can see this one I tested at full %. This is exactly the same size as the charms. They just fit right over there, right over the image. And it doesn't matter if yours end up being like 4% smaller than the ones that I drew myself and cut out. Oh, where were the 2 other ones? Where did I stick those? I'm already... Oh, here they are. I found them. Never mind. This is how I do when I start recording at 3 o'clock in the morning. I get weird. Had it all planned out in my head, and it's going to be so smooth. I'm just excited that I finally finished these. It took me a long-ass time. So I do have 2 charms that are not going to be for sale. So and I did say this in my video. So I have Gizmo. Let me make sure he's in focus here. So, because I believe he's a copyrighted character, so I'm not selling him. He's not included in the 205 charms that will be in the downloadable PDF. And the other one that I'm not including is Weird Al, because I don't own his likeness. I'm just holding them up in case somebody wants to screen cap them, but there's no way that I'm going to get myself in trouble by trying to sell these characters. That would be ridiculous. So those are not available, but the other ones are. Now, I thought I had run out of room on my 4th... I had extra space on my 4th page here when I was working on these, and I made some new charms that have not yet been seen on video. This is the original drawings. You can see I had some test horses here, some test drums and crabs, and an ant that didn't work out that well down here. So these ones I'm going to use as an example to show you how they would work if you printed out your own set, and then I'll show you the set. This is a printer cardstock. It's 80-pound weight paper. This is, by comparison, is 20. And I've got my paper scissors here. Snip, snip. Let me focus this down to where I'm going to be. I guess that's pretty good. So basically, like when you get the whole sheet, I'm just going to cut around that to get it out of the sheet. They're pretty close together, but you can still cut them in there. So I'm not going to cut out all of these right now. I'll just do a couple. So this is brand new, never been used. I had to make a little like bubble around the ant because ants are mostly just sticks and limbs, and there wouldn't have been enough material. All the other charms that I made, I have it like to the border of what the thing is, but I couldn't do that with the ant. So it has a little bubble around it, but you can see it's mostly just lines. I had to do that with the drum set too because it's got the symbols are on sticks. Again, I can't really see where that's going. I guess that's about focus there. Just get in there with the paper scissors. So I got it like flush to the edge of the drum here, but because of the stick-like nature of the little hi-hats or whatever the hell they're called, I'll get it around the edge here, and the feet. There we go. So now we have drums. And these are just going to go right in the bucket with the other ones to get shaken up. I'll do one more. Let's do the angel. So these little scribbly drawings on here, you're just going to cut them up and put them on. I'm going to make little artist trading cards out of them, and that's part of what goes into my chapbook packs. And even though it's like essentially a crappy drawing, there's something to be said for the free-flowing energy of these horses, right? It's like an idea of a horse. It's not locked in like this one. There's an inherent freedom there. And then, I mean, some of the images on the artist trading cards I made for the chapbook packs are like fully fledged drawings, like in color and some of them are actually quite good. Some of them are like pieces of prints, etchings from college. I've used a bunch of etchings for the envelopes, and a whole bunch of photos from when I had photography. Those are all envelopes too. Okay. So now we have an angel. Because the halo just wasn't quite enough, and I had it in my list for a while. So each of the sheets for these, each of these sheets has roughly 50 charms on them. And at some point when I have a list that's long enough to warrant making another page, then I'll have like an expansion pack for the charms. And I'll offer it like this separate sheet as an add-on, and then I'll have like a complete collection. But at some point I do want to make these 3D. I want to have them in like plastic or resin or something like that. But this is for people who want a paper version in general, or just because that's what I'm able to do right now. And maybe if I sell enough of these, then I'll be able to afford the materials to go on to the next step. Alright, so at some point I'm going to finish cutting these out and put them in there. I've got a volcano, a hamburger, a CD, a tomato, a honey jar, bacon and eggs, a giraffe. I got a crab up here. I've got a battle axe. I've got a stethoscope that's kind of wrong looking, but oh well. And a ladder. And then this rampant horse here. Besides those other ones that I just cut out. So those are new and would not have been seen in my previous video. So put the scissors over here for now. So these are just practice printout sheets, and these I'll be cutting up, and these will go in those chapbook packs too, along with the scribbly drawings that were practice versions of the originals. So the charms come with instructions. It's like ideas for methods of printing, methods of, you know, you could mount them on other stuff. You could stick it to whatever you want to, and instead of having it on paper, you could put it on like a little wood biscuit, or like a, you know, like a little metal disc or whatever. You could, you know, make a little, sew up a little stuffed pillow and stick it on there, whatever you feel like doing. And then if you want to color them in, like markers, colored pencils, glitter, whatever, you can hot glue them to a chunk of plastic. You can hot glue them to some dice if they're small enough. And then there's just a little blurb down here about, you know, purchasing the charms to print out means that I'm not responsible if you hurt yourself in a crafting accident, or that I'm not responsible for the managing of your printer or paper, or I'm not responsible for your paper cuts and screaming and if your printer doesn't work. So, and then I just put a little thing here that says that it mentions the 96% shrinkage for these sheets. So that's what's there. Just a little disclaimer. So the document itself is the 4 sheets. So 1, a 2, a 3, a 4 of charms. So there's, count 'em right. There are 205 of these on these 4 sheets. So these samples I printed out on that same 80-pound weight printer cardstock. I need to get some more because I'm almost out. And then I've printed the key codes, the key sheets, and the instructional page just on regular paper. That way you won't waste the expensive paper. So it's got a little cutout here with outlines, and they're all numbered, and it shows what they are. This writing ended up being pretty huge, but I figure that works good for people who have trouble with small print. It just happens to be how it ended up. It didn't look that big on the screen, so I'd rather have it be a little bigger than people not be able to read it. So these all took a while to make. And then there's just that back sheet again. So it just says what they are with a couple of alternate words, like spade or trowel. The butterfly could be a moth if you want it to be. Cougar, mountain lion, puma, Tesla coils / Zeusophone. There's a couple different names for the record player and the trash can. I think that's about it. Everything else it just says what they are, and then the interpretation is up to you, and it can be something else if you want. For example, I've mentioned this before, my wolf drawing is pretty crappy, so it could very easily be coyote instead. So I didn't write that down there, wolf, but also maybe coyote. I just noticed too when I was doing this that my dollar bills are upside down, but once you cut them out it doesn't really matter. I also noticed that I colored in around the cord of the headphones after I had cut them out. Now I'm not going to be able to find them, but they were in here. Here they are. I colored in the headphones. So you can feel free to do that if you want to. So, those are going to be downloadable. It's a PDF file. And again, you can print the pages separately, or you could print it all on the cheap copy paper and then glue it onto something else. Right? Plastic, wood, mat board, cardboard, whatever you want to do. or you can buy some thicker paper, or if you have some kind of fabric or plastic sheets that you can put in the printer, you can do that as well. So I have, and this is like a digital download, and then you print it out on your own. And how much my time? Okay. So I have 2 sets that are printed out. Neither one of them has the little instructions about the scale for printing on them, because I added that afterwards. But you don't really need it if the set's already printed out. So I have 2 complete sets, 4 sheets on this cardstock, which is what mine are made out of. I drew these on a sheet from the same ream as what I printed them out on. So the first proof set that I made, there was some weird, like, graying on some of the charms. So I went back and changed the contrast and repasted all of these and all of these other ones. So there's 2 sheets that have a little bit of gray on the charms on the first proof, and there's like 3 typos in the writing. So that set is going to be for sale on my Etsy once I get to it. And I decided to include the shipping in the price, so it would be free shipping to the United States, because I'm not able to ship outside the United States right now because I can't guarantee any tracking number. And once my business becomes more flowing better, I'll be able to figure out overseas shipping, like outside of the United States. But just for now, like, I'm not saying never, I'm just saying I can't do it yet because my business is still really small. But $26.99, and it's not just these, it's this whole set, 205 charms on the printer cardstock for you to cut out, and then 8 chapbook packs. You know, 8 envelopes of various designs. Some of them are wrapping paper, some of them are drawings, some of them are construction paper, some of them are purchased. So 8 chapbook packs, so there'll be more little bits of art that you can use as divination if you want to. There's going to be poems in there, and so it's 8 chapbook packs, and it's whatever other piece of art I fish out of my my bucket, my file bin. So some larger mystery art, 8 chapbook packs, and this printed out proof set, $26.99 with free shipping. So that's going to go up on Etsy. The digital PDF of this is going to be up on Etsy, $16.99. And I have a second proof set, which is essentially perfect, except that it doesn't have that little square on the last instruction sheet, which you don't need because, again, it's already printed out. So this set is going to be exactly the same as the other set, but because there aren't any mistakes, like there's no graying, there's no little marks from me working on it, and there's no typos. And there isn't really that much wrong with this set. I mean, it'll work perfectly fine if you don't mind your rhino being ever so slightly grayish, right? Or the eyeball or the narwhal. Right, that way you won't have to find your own paper to print it on. So slightly off one, $26.99. And then this one, the quote perfect proof. So none of the images are gray. There's just a little tiny outline around this narwhal that didn't go away all the way, but that can easily be cut off. It's not like inside the image. and everything else came out fine. That was the only one that didn't really completely fix after I worked on it again. So this pristine set, all the printouts and everything. Again, these are on the cardstock. This is the regular copy paper. So this set also 8 chapbook packs, also some larger mystery art from the bucket, because I don't know what I'm going to grab out of there yet. This set is going to be $32.99. Again, that's shipping included, and that's to the United States. If you really want this and you're outside the United States and you don't mind not having a tracking number, you can email me. That's in the link tree, and it's also going to be in the description box underneath. But otherwise, these are going up on Etsy, and then anyone can download the PDF to print out from anywhere. So once those are up on Etsy, I'll put the links in the description box underneath. But in the meantime, I'm probably just going to throw this video up so people know about it. But again, these are going to be up on Etsy, you know, probably by July 10th at the very latest. At the very latest. I've got a project that I've got to work on, but I should be able to squeeze out a couple hours to get this all straightened out on Etsy. Because I added like 6 items. It was like 7 items, and it took me 6 hours to get them up on Etsy and like post, because I had to rescan them and edit them and then throw them up on DeviantArt in my wares folder and then like do the advertising. So all told, it was like 6 hours, but this shouldn't take that long. So there's the proof number 1, slightly off, with some marks on it. None of the marks that I made are on the images, so you can just cut around them. And again, just some of them are ever so slightly gray. If you don't mind that, if you're going to color over them anyway, it's not going to be an issue. And then the like pristine print is just a little bit more. Or I should say this one's discounted. So there's going to be a bunch of stuff in an envelope, and then I'll mail it to you. I'll probably do it priority mail. It's like $10 to mail something this size priority mail now. 10 or 11 bucks. So that's why I like chunked up the price a little more than I was originally going to offer, just to cover the shipping, so I can list it with free shipping. So the price is the price. You don't have to pay any extra for shipping on top of it, and then I'll mail it to you, and you'll get these. All right. So and also, I can't afford to like print out every single set individually and mail it to people because, you know, I only have so much printer ink and it costs money, and my business is not that large yet. But we'll get there. And when I'm able to, I'm going to take all of these charms and make them some kind of 3-dimensional resin or plastic or something. So once that happens, those will also be available, and then the printout version will still be available too. So those are going to go online in my Etsy shop very soon. And that's it. Alright. So I move the camera. Hopefully some of that was in focus. I'm like super excited about this. I'm like tweaking out. Also, get some Men Hemp. That's my friend's company. He's the CEO, and it's really quality stuff. I always kind of have it in the background as like a low-key pimping my friend's stuff. Okay. Alright, so if you are outside of the United States and you're interested in those paper sets, just email me and let me know ahead of time, and we'll work something out. It'll probably cost a little bit more to ship it, so I might tack on a few more dollars, but you know, that's how it is. And then like I said, I don't know how to have a tracking number for stuff overseas, but so we'll just have to cross our fingers and toes and hope for the best, and then if it doesn't arrive, you'll have to let me know. and we'll work something out. So otherwise, they're just going to be on Etsy, available to the US. So if you do go on Etsy and you're buying stuff there, if you get some chapbooks outside of the 8 that I'm stuffing in with those paper sets, or any other drawings or plushies or whatever I've got on there. It's 3star17 coupon code. Get 17% off of your order of 3 or more items, of any item of any price on my Etsy. I know that's not quite in focus, but I am going to have this sheet up like a slide of it after. I also have coloring books, dark poetry. This poetry book, Lantern, excerpts, like a handful of individual poems from, I think they're all in that book, are in the chapbooks that are in the chapbook packs, right? So it's little art cards. It's a little poetry, mini poetry book, not all of it, just a little one, and some art cards, and like a little folded up drawing, and then I've got prints on DeviantArt and merch over on Cafe Press. So I've got like mugs and canvases and G-clays and photo prints, t-shirts, masks, blankets, pillows. There were keychains, but last time I was editing on Cafe Press, they didn't have them. They're changing stuff over there. It's always on sale, so most of the time though, but there's shirts and blankets and towels and little bags over on Cafe Press and DeviantArt. There's like mugs and stuff there too. There's calendars under my logo. It has 14 different images. And I'm getting rambly, so I'm going to stop. But if you want to get those things on Etsy, it's over there. If you'd like to donate to my channel, it's PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo, Energy Exchange, tip jar, or if you want to get a tarot reading. And then, speaking of these charms here, which is what this video is all about, in my readings, my list of readings for sale, you can add charms to any reading for $7. And it's like, grab a handful and throw them down. Sometimes when I do readings for my channel, I'll use charms instead of a deck, or in addition to. Just depending on the vibes that I'm getting from the upper dimensions. And now you'll be able to use those charms too. You get your very own set. You can customize them if you're feeling frisky. All right. So those 2 sets will be available, and then the PDF downloadable version will be available. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, check out my playlists tab, my discussion tab, and stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.